It might look a really simple technique, but there's a few little things that you can do to actually make your serve more effective and therefore win points straight away. So guys, we're here in Miami this week watching the World Padel Tour, the first of the year. And our group of players have asked many questions as we're watching the games together. And one of the big questions that we get asked is, why do World Padel Tour players not serve towards the glass or not hit really aggressive serves? And the short answer is that at that level, their returning skills are so good that, it's at high risk to go for a really aggressive serve with the glass if they're going to potentially miss their first serve when the opponents can return it anyway. So in this video, we're going to talk about what you can do to make your serve more aggressive, because at a lower level, intermediate or beginner level, the serve is like a weapon, yeah? So we want to make that serve as effective as possible. And so today we're going to focus on the wrist action of that serve to give you a little extra kind of speed and spin for the serve. So before we go into the wrist action, let's just clarify what type of spin you want to have on that serve, yeah? So if you're serving first and second serve, the more difficult spin to receive is going to be with a little bit of slice and a little bit potentially of side spin if you're going into the glass, yeah? And when I say a little bit, you're not really trying to hit loads of side spin to catch your opponents off guard, and you're not trying to hit, chop down the ball for a lot of slice, because you also need speed, and when you put more slice on it, you actually lose speed. So you only want a little bit of slice and only a little bit of side spin just to kind of guide it towards that glass. So when we talk about the action, I just want to clarify that if you already think that you have a very accurate and consistent serve and it doesn't need to be improved, and you have your own unique action, or you hit with a backhand serve, that's absolutely fine. If it works for you and it's as accurate and consistent as you would like it to be, then you don't necessarily need to change your action, yeah? We're doing this video for those that want to improve one of those areas of their game, and therefore we're going to talk about the technique that we advise our students to use to make the action simpler and to give you that extra bit of spin. But if you're already very happy with your serve, then there's no need to make some big technical changes. So when we talk about hitting spin on your serve, or any shot for that matter, we're really talking about the racket contact with the ball. And there's three areas that we're looking at. We're going to look at the path of our racket, as in, are we coming high to low? Is it going to be more horizontal or low to high? The angle of our racket face, yeah, that will affect the type of spin we're going to hit on the ball. And then the third is speed, yeah? So path, angle, speed, and all of those will dictate how much spin you are actually putting on that ball. So if we want to create a little bit of slice, a little bit of side spin, we will get most of our slice from a slightly open racket face, yeah, and quite a horizontal swing path. We aren't chopping down the ball to create slice. The racket is starting from up here and it's going to swing through, and the racket face is going to be slightly open as it's brushing down the ball, yeah? So the racket head is actually above the height of the contact. It's coming down on that contact with an open racket face, which is going to create immediately the rotations that we're looking for with the slice, yeah, going through the ball like that. Now, you want to have just on contact what I would call a soft wrist, yeah? So it needs to be a firm grip, so you're holding onto the grip quite firmly, but a soft wrist in that you just want to almost just ever so slightly drop the racket head to create a little bit of brush on the ball. And that's actually where you're going to see that little bit of side spin. So if we're in this position here and you drop the ball, you're just going to come ever so slightly underneath for slice and for side spin, and that is how we're going to create that. You do not need to hit loads of those spins. I emphasize again, it is a little bit of slice and a little bit of side spin when you're hitting that ball, particularly if you're going in towards the glass. A couple of common errors for this are Players just making this so wristy. Yeah, they're in this position here and they're being really wristy with the contact. And one thing that we always talk about with the serve, and I'll put a playlist up here of our serve videos, but we're always talking about keeping the action simple. Yeah, it's got to be repeatable. If you want a consistent serve, you want your action to be the same if you're going to do that action 100 times. Yeah, so make sure that your action is nice and simple so it can be consistent. So a wristy action is very difficult to be consistent, first of all. The other thing that players do is they don't often start with the racket back in this position. You know, they'll start like this, and if you're coming from low to high, it's very difficult for you to hit slice on any of your serves. Yeah, you must come below the bottom of the ball, but from a higher than the contact point, and that will create the spin that you're looking for. So talking about a simple action, on this side, the video that we put down here, we really break down the action into some really easy steps. And it's, you know, the World Padel Tour players do these steps. So if you want to actually work on your technique, this is the video I would go to next, because it will help you kind of break down and keep you with a simple technique.